You're welcome. Recovering addict named James. Oh, man. And through the grace of God and the program of Narcotics Anonymous, I'm clean today. My clean date is May 20th of 2004. But just like Lyle said, all I have is just for today. I don't know, man. It's funny, man. I didn't know I was going to be on a panel with all the heavy hitters, you know what I mean? Steve Devlin and Lyle. Wow. God is good, man. I don't know, man. I don't know where I'm going with this. I've been at this men's conference probably most of my recovery as well. Probably only missed a few. And, man, it's always an honor, to come here and, fellowship with all you men on a particular day that they pick every year for this conference. Man, it's always powerful. I've brought people with me. I'm from the Icana area, which is Washington, PA, and throughout my time coming here, I've brought people with me. Some of those people are still in recovery. Some of those people are not in recovery. But it's always a great event, man. Before I get started, there's a couple individuals from my area. If you guys pray, which I know most of us do, if you could pray for these individuals, it would be greatly appreciated. One's Doug B. A lot of you guys know Doug. He's struggling with some health issues, and as well as Eric P., which is he's also struggling with some health issues right now. Actually, he was supposed to be here today, and he couldn't make it here today because of the health issues that he's dealing with. So, if you guys would keep them in your prayers, that would be greatly appreciated. Just in case I fall short, I'm going to give you a message that never falls short. And that message is that an addict, any addict, can stop using, lose the desire to use, and find a new way to live, Phil called me, and I was like, okay, it must be my time. And he said, would you come speak at the men's conference? I said, sure, what's the topic? And he said, it's conflict, reality, and resolve. And I was like, oh, okay. And he's like, yeah, it's out of the We Do Recover chapter in the basic text. And I have to be honest with you guys. I mean, I've been clean a little over 19 years. And, I don't visit the literature as often as I should. I'm probably the only person that does that here. But so it had me revisit like this basic text. This basic text here was in the little pouch in the back seat of my car. That's where I keep it, but I don't really pull it out much, And it's about being honest today, right? So I have to be honest about that. But it encouraged me to pull it out and look in that chapter and see what what my topic was about. And then Phil's also was reaching out to me because of Doug's illness. I was one of those people that he knew in my area that could reach out to other men to try to get them to attend the conference. So, and every time he called me, we talk about that, and then I'd be like, "What's that topic again?" And he'd run it to me again, and then before we hung up the phone, he'd be like, "Yeah, just come up and drop it like it's hot." So I was like, okay. So I called Phil the other day to let him know, like, they were bringing some guys from one of the facilities in Washington. He was like, oh, yeah, thanks, great. Thank you for reaching out, da-da-da-da. And before he hangs up the phone, he goes, drop it like it's hot. So I'm like, either Phil was watching, like, too many twerk videos, or he's spending too much time in the strip club or something. That's the only thing that came out of his mouth was drop it like it's hot. I'm pretty sure I know where that boomerang booty topic came from. But anyway, so I went to the literature, and this is what it talks about, and we do recover about conflict resolution. I mean, conflict, reality, and resolve. It says, in our recovery, we find it essential to accept reality. Once we can do this, we do not find it necessary to use drugs in an attempt to change our perceptions. Without drugs, we've had a chance to begin functioning as useful human beings if we accept ourselves and the world exactly as it is. We learn that conflicts are part of reality, and we learn new ways to resolve them instead of running from them. They are a great part of the real world. We learn not to become emotionally involved with problems. We deal with what is at hand and try not to force solutions. We have learned that if a solution isn't practical, it isn't spiritual. All right, so I read that, and then, like I said, I'm here, and I'm listening to everybody share, and I'm looking at all the guys, and I'm looking at the topic of this year's conference, which is Grow Up or Die, and I'm thinking to myself, how did I resolve conflict in the past? Like, how would I resolve conflict before Narcotics Anonymous? And, we're all men, and, we grew up pretty much in similar situations, and we shared a lot here in Narcotics Anonymous. We got a lot of false information. And guys, I know me and the way I was taught, I was raised, if you had a conflict, you fought. If you had a disagreement as a guy, you had to settle it. You know what I mean? And we lived like that. I grew up in a housing project in Philadelphia, and I was the only child, so I got into a lot of conflicts when I was growing up, and I didn't have any backup because you know how the project families are. There's usually a bunch of kids there, so if I got into a conflict with one, I had to fight all of them. And I'd love to stand up here and tell you guys that I won all those, but I didn't. You win some and you lose some. But, what I've come to realize is that Narcotics Anonymous doesn't just teach me a new way to live. Like when it comes to drugs, it teaches me a new way to live when it comes to life in general. And just, the way I look at life and the way I perceive the things and the way I react to the things that happen in life. Because, things are going to happen. Conflict is going to happen. It's a reality. It says that right in that reading that conflicts are a reality of life. I was also thinking, since I've been in recovery, I'm not a person that causes conflict. I've never been one. And I was trying to think of, a recent conflict in my life and recovery that I've been able to practice the principles that I've learned in this fellowship. And a lot of you guys know my story. I got married in this process, and my wife decided it'd be a good idea to go back out, and that was definitely a conflict. Some people in the area thought I should have handled it a different way, but my reality and my resolve in that situation was I needed to get away and get out of that marriage. They called me a lot of different things. She had a lot of supporters in our area. Let's put it that way. And so they were not okay. Like I don't know how it is. I mean, I know we like to blame. As addicts, we blame everybody else, and we don't look at the part we play. So I guess she was able to get a lot of people on her side. So she kind of flipped it, and it was like they almost blamed me for what happened. And I was like, wow. So it was a lot of conflict going on. And I always tell my guys, man, sometimes the best response is no response, with dealing with conflict, and, the truth will always surface. Social media is a big thing now, and I was assassinated on social media. Every time I looked at my Facebook, I don't want to endorse the Facebook thing. We were out talking about endorsing stuff and tradition violations and all that stuff. So I apologize if me saying Facebook is endorsing the outside thing. But anyway, I was attacked on social media, and it was very, it was rough, man, not to respond because I always, I look at it and I want to hurry up and write something, you know what I mean? But from being around this fellowship as long as I have been, and just having a total change in like my outlook and my perception on things, I just didn't respond. You know what I mean? And I think that was the best thing for me, not responding to that. So, like I said, I told my, I have to I told my guys, sometimes the best response is no response. So if I'm going to suggest somebody else do something, then I need to be able to do it myself. You know what I mean? Just going through the step working process that we go through around here, has afforded me a way not to react to conflict like I used to. That 10th step also lets me know that, I'm not as innocent as I believe I might be in any conflict that happens in my life. So I need to take that inventory and take a look at the part I played. And, if I'm actually wrong in a situation, I'll try to admit it as promptly as possible. I'm not always on time with the prompt admittance, though. I have to be honest with that. But I mean, that's another tool that, has afforded me to look at things differently because, I've heard somebody else say it, but I can't remember who said it. Like, I'm no different than anybody else. I want to play victim too, Let me be the victim. But, sometimes when there's some conflict going on, I had something to do with it. You know what I mean? Most definitely. So, I don't know, man. Like I told him, I probably don't have 20 minutes on this topic. You know what I mean? I would have liked to have the topic of boomerang booty or something. And like, yeah, or like after the butt, then what? You know, like but I mean, it's like I said earlier, man. I mean, I love Narcotics Anonymous, man. I'm not like all over the place. Like I was talking to my sponsor earlier. I mean, I always share with my sponsor before I shared any Narcotics Anonymous meeting. And I'm not like running to the podium all over the place. You know what I mean? But when I'm asked to share, I will. And he always says, if you want to be up there, you probably shouldn't be up there. And so I'm not really that comfortable, man, with being up here at the podium. But like I said, when somebody asks me to, I can't say no, man. I love Narcotics Anonymous. Narcotics Anonymous has given me, a different perspective on life. It's given me some tools that I didn't have initially, to learn how to live life. So just for today, man, I'm trying to keep conflicts to a minimum. You know what I mean? But should a conflict arrive in my life, I do have some tools to take a look at it and look at the part that I've played. It talks about in the literature too about running from conflict. I no longer run from conflicts. I mean, I'm able to face those conflicts today, and like I said, take a look at it if I played a part in it. If I didn't play a part in it, I'll let it go. You know what I mean? But if I played a part in it, then I have to look at how I'm going to write the part that I played in it. So I don't know, man. I hope you guys got something out of conflict and reality and resolve. But if not, like I said, it's in the We Do Recover chapter in our basic text, so you can go ahead and read it for yourself and come up with your own synopsis of the topic. And thanks for listening.